In this section, we are going to learn how to predict the nature of the line by just looking at the value of the slope. We may have a positive, negative, zero, or undefined value of the slope. Let's understand how to use different signs while finding the value of the slope. Look at the first line. There are 2 points that lie in the line. We can assume any point to be the starting point. Let's say the upper point is the starting point and we have to reach to the second, that is the lower point. So for that, what we do, we can't rise because if you rise in the upward direction, we won't be able to reach to that point. So we actually fall this time. So we go in the downward direction and then after we run in the right direction. So while going down in the vertical direction, just because we have fallen like this, whatever units we travel, that has to be considered negative. However, you traveled in the right direction horizontally, so this value will still be positive. So the value of the slope m is given as rise to the run. So this time, whatever is the value of this uh, displacement, that must be negative and the denominator will be positive. So negative over positive will be negative. So this time the value of the slope must be negative. Similarly, in the second example, let's say if you are trying to reach uh, to the upper point from the lower point, or even you can start from the upper point itself. Let's say we started from the upper point again. So we again fall down by a certain amount. Then after we move in the left direction horizontally. So this time, both the ways we've moved in the downward direction. So it's negative. Similarly, we've traveled in the horizontal direction towards left. That's why it must also be negative. So let's try to get the value of slope. Slope is given by the ratio of the rise to the run. As we substitute the value, so negative, that's the rise. Even run is negative. Both negative, negative become positive. Means for this particular line, the value of the slope must be positive. So now we have four cases. The first case is when the slope of a line is positive. When the slope is positive, the line rises from left to right like this. But in the second case, when the value of the slope is negative, the line simply falls from left to right like this. The third case is when the value of the slope is zero. Whenever the value of the slope is zero, the line simply looks horizontal. It's parallel to the x-axis. Similarly, when we have the value of m as infinity, that is undefined, the line looks vertical. It's parallel to y-axis. Let's take an example. In this example, we are given four sets of points, and without graphing, we have to tell whether the line rises, falls, it's horizontal or vertical. So let's take the first pair and we label them as x1, y1 and x2, y2 so that we can substitute in the formula. Formula for the slope, it's m equals y2 negative y1 over x2 negative x1. We can substitute the values then. Negative 6, negative 3 over 2 negative, and x1 itself is negative, so we keep it in parentheses like this. We simplify this, it's negative 9 over 2 plus 4. That's going to be negative 9 over 6. So irrespective of the value, the sign is negative. Just because the sign is negative, so we can predict that the line will fall from left to right. Let's get the slope of the second line. Let's substitute the values in the formula. As we simplify this, we see that the denominator is 0. So when the denominator is 0, that becomes undefined. And we've discussed that when we have the value of the slope as undefined, the line is vertical. Let's now talk about the value of the slope of the third line. In this, we substitute the values again, negative 2 and negative 2 over 5, negative 3. That becomes negative 2, positive 2 over 2. The numerator is 0 now, so it makes it 0. This time we've put a 0 here. So when the slope of a line is 0, the line is horizontal. Now the last pair. In this one, we can get the value of slope. We have negative 4, negative 6 over 1, negative 5. This time it's negative 10 over negative 4. Just because both the negative signs got cancelled and we've got a positive value right now. So when the slope is positive, the line rises from left to right. Alright, so that's all about this.